Hello, Rebel, and welcome back to Our Life.
Our Life.
So, the 25th of November was our 10-year wedding anniversary, and what a 10 years it has been. Now, for our 10-year anniversary, for almost a year, I have been planning a trip for the two of us, away from the kids, just the two of us. There are several layers of surprises that I have in store for Meghan, and I am ready to reveal the first surprise.
And I am so nervous because I have no idea what it is.
Okay, the first surprise is that we are not going to Austin.
What?
Do you want to take a couple of wild guesses as to where we're actually going instead of Austin?
New Zealand?
Nope.
Okay. California?
Nope.
New York?
Ding 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 ding!
We're going to New York?
We're going to New York!
What?
Meghan has never been to New York.
Are we going to see Hamilton?
I tried really hard, but
expensive.
it's super expensive.
Okay.
Hamilton's like crazy expensive.
Okay.
Okay.
We're off!
We're off to New York! Moving magic! In a not-so-shocking turn of events, we are at the airport on our way to New York. What do you most want to do in New York?
I definitely want to see Lady Liberty. I want to go to Times Square. The big park. Central Park.
Central Park. The big park. And then suddenly, they were in New York. We're extremely exhausted after flying all day, and now we need a lift to take us to our place so we can sleep.
But I'm looking at New York. Show them what I see.
It's so beautiful. It's so pretty.
So we just got to our Airbnb, which is pretty freaking awesome. It's definitely compact. My Aunt Sybil helped me pick this out, so huge props to Sybil. Alright, so it's our first day in New York.
New York!
New York!
I threw you off!
You totally did. We're heading off for the first little surprise that I've got for Meghan. It's a small thing that hopefully you're going to enjoy, sweetie. Look at our little neighborhood.
I saw the police cars and I was like...
You figured it out just a little too early. Da-dun-dun-dun-dun. So now the explanation is that there is no 99th precinct, but
That is the building that they use for the exterior. That is the 99 as far as TV is concerned.
You ready for your first ride on a New York subway?
Yep.
So tell me more about all of the people you were checking out on the subway who weren't your husband.
That's not what I said!
I want more of an explanation, please. So you know what's happening today?
What?
History is happening in Manhattan. Okay, where are we, babe?
We're in Trinity Church near you.
We're gonna go see the place where Hamilton and I think Angelica were buried?
Yeah, and probably his wife.
Yes, one would assume. So we actually stumbled by Trinity Church completely on accident. I did not know this was here. I was walking by, I saw the sign, and I realized that this was the place where Hamilton and Eliza and Angelica were all buried, so I brought Meghan in here. Which is actually a really incredible stroke of luck, because I am taking Meghan to see Hamilton tonight on our anniversary, and she has no idea. Literally been carrying the tickets in my jacket the whole time, and I am pretty friggin' stoked to tell her about it. It's gonna be a complete surprise. Oh, why hello, sweetie. I definitely didn't just tell the video what the next big surprise is.
What is it?
Oh no, you'll find out in a while. Come on, let's go to the 9/11 memorial.
So this memorial has all these names printed around the sides of it, who we know was lost.
So not to be too much of a downer on what is actually our 10-year anniversary, but do you remember where you were on September 11th?
I was in Seattle, and I was there for work. We were staying in a hotel room, so I went to get the person I was with, and I knocked on their hotel room door, and he said, "Twin Towers, somebody just ran a plane into the Twin Towers." And I was like, No. I didn't believe it, honestly. People were hugging total strangers and, you know, thanking everybody else for being alive.
I woke up first thing in the morning and my mom came into my room and she said, "You're not going to school today." I was like, "Wait, why? What?" And she told me what had happened, and like the internet was still like a baby thing back then, but I sat in my room on the computer all day just refreshing news sites. That was the first time that I'd ever done that.
Nothing like that had happened
in our that we knew about, that
right.
in our lifetimes. Do you ever meet younger people and realize that they don't remember what life was like before that?
Right.
Like it really was a different world before that happened.
Yeah.
I stood on the towers. I told you that yesterday. I stood on top of one of the towers. I don't remember which one, but I stood on top of one of them in 2001, like in May or something of that year. That was the first time that my parents took me to New York and we went on top of one of the towers. All right, that's enough for our 10-year anniversary. We're gonna go be happy again.
Yeah.
So we happened to spot Midtown Comics while we were walking by, and Meghan said we could stop here. Best wife ever! Well, hello.
Hello.
About to get on the subway, but now we're old hands at it. Now we know what we're doing. Okay, we've officially snazzed ourselves up for tonight's big event. Do you feel sufficiently snazzed?
I'm feeling snazzed.
Look at how snazzy she is! My God, woman! How about me? Am I sufficiently snazzy? I'm worried that my snazz level is like at an 8 and yours is at an 11.
You are hot, baby.
Okay, I'm ready to tell Meghan the next big surprise of the trip. Pull out your phone and check your Facebook notifications.
Were you worried that I was going to do that? That's why. Okay.
That's why I kept having you hide your phone.
It says, read the first words of all my comments in this
thread.
They'll
and you see how it's in lines?
Tell the story of tonight. I'm willing to wait for it. Who lives? Who dies? Who tells your story?
So what's the surprise?
We're going to see Hamilton?
We're going to see Hamilton?
Are you serious? Yeah. You are so... Let's go!
Okay! Alright, so both of our phones ran out of battery last night while we were going to the show. So just a quick recap. How was Hamilton on Broadway?
Oh my God. Amazing. We laughed, we cried.
I cried a lot. There were so many little things that added to the story itself, like little moments sort of in between the songs or that were part of the choreography. Like the first one that I mentioned to you last night was when Alexander is being called back to the war. The letter from George Washington actually reaches Eliza, and she, without missing a beat, immediately goes and gets Alex's jacket and holds it for him and like helps him to go back to the war, which was just that was a little emotional.
I've heard some people say like Hamilton really should have, his soulmate was Angelica, but no. The person he needed was Eliza.
What was the other one? Okay, so it explicitly says in the show, which is not in any of the songs, that John Lawrence died.
Yeah.
Like, you see the moment where they find out that John Lawrence died and Eliza tells Alex. And, like, that was amazing!
Yeah. You know, the end of the song when... I don't want to cry.
Okay.
Because I got my makeup on. The end of the Stay Alive reprise. And he sings with her, and then she sings by herself. And then you hear her gasp for air because her son is gone. She screamed. And it was just...
It was a little intense. I was basically just sobbing for like the whole last hour of the play, I would say. Starting with One Last Time, which is always the song that starts to work my emotional heartstrings. Yeah. And this time, right in the middle of that song, started crying. Basically kept crying for the rest of the play.
I love Hamilton. I loved, we were trying not to sing along because we didn't want to ruin, people weren't there to hear us sing along.
But we were both like... Anyway, Hamilton on Broadway. Definitely go and see it in 10 months when the next tickets are available. It was so incredible.
I love my husband. I gotta give him props. He totally surprised me.
Everything on this trip has gone so well.
This trip's been a little overwhelming for me. I've never been spoiled like this in my entire life, and I'm just so in love with you. I'm in love with you.
So guess who got lost on the subway today?
You.
Us, technically. Yeah, it was me. Yeah, we're in Brooklyn. We took the subway into Manhattan, then to the north of Manhattan, and then back off of Manhattan before we realized maybe we went a little too far. So we got to the Empire State Building. We saw it. It was gorgeous, but at that point, there was not enough time for us to go up to the observatory because we have dinner reservations at a fancy schmancy place.
Fancy pants.
Fancy schmancy. Very fancy.
In the pants.
So we just finished dinner. How was it for you?
Oh, it was amazing.
That's what I like to hear. We decided not to do the Empire State Building tonight because we're a little bit tired. And so instead, we're going to walk the Brooklyn Bridge because that's what you do when you're tired. I like how we're basically experts on the New York subway now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We totally know what we're doing right now. You know, this is basically our second home of a city, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're practically locals. There she is. We're about to go see her on a boat tour, and hopefully the wind noise isn't so bad that you can't hear anything. Alright, here's hoping the wind isn't too bad. God, it's bright out. We got here and we found out that in order to actually get into the statue and like visit the crown and everything, you have to reserve, what, like 3 months in advance?
Something like that, yeah.
But we do get to go up on the pedestal and see the monument, and I mean, even just being here is pretty incredible. It's different seeing it in person, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
How are you, how you doing?
I'm great. I feel so energetic.
You so glad you took the stairs instead of the elevator?
Oh, yeah.
And it's something about you.
And now I know I never ever wanna be without you. I wanna be haunted by the ghost. I wanna be haunted by the ghost. I wanna be haunted by the ghost. Wanna be haunted by the ghost.
We're in Ellis Island. This is where my grandfather, my great-grandfather came in and immigrated, and my great-grandmother on my grandmother's side. It's just wild to think that I'm standing where they stood so many years ago with so much excitement. One thing you guys may not know about me is that my family is Jewish. So my family fled Europe before the Holocaust hit, and we came to this new land with new hope. As many immigrants do, most people leave because they have to, not because they want to, because they want a new life. They want rights. It's just beautiful to think that how many people came here with so much hope in their heart and came to America to establish their family, and we've been here since. My husband loves to film me.
I do. It's because you're so pretty. So we're in Central Park, which is kind of amazingly beautiful. It's amazing that it's stayed important enough to the city that they keep it and they don't ever endanger it or give away any piece of it. All right, things got very dark very quickly.
Come with me.
You ready for the last big surprise?
What is it?
I love you.
Yeah, thanks.
You don't seem shocked. Is that not surprising? So, per what we've been able to learn so far, Belvedere Castle was literally built for no purpose by a guy named Mr. Belvedere, who wanted a castle to be here in Central Park. So it looks nice, no function whatsoever. All right, baby, how was Belvedere Castle?
It wasn't worth the walk, but we really enjoyed the walk because I got to do it with you.
Good morning, gorgeous.
Good morning.
It's our last day, our last morning in New York. We are getting the room cleaned up so that we can head out and off to the airport this afternoon. This has truly been one of the most lovely and wonderful experiences of my life, and I have a couple of people that I need to thank really quick. This entire trip would not have happened if not for my friend Joe Johnson, who basically enabled me to do all of this in the first place. So Joe, from me and my wife, thank you, oh my god, so much. Another big thank you to my Vlog a Novel viewers, specifically who over the last few months have been donating to this big secret thing. This was the secret thing, and their donations paid for our anniversary dinner.
Thank you!
And specifically by name, Kristen, Nicole, Alex, and Antoine. Y'all are super, super amazingly awesome, and we appreciate it.
We love you!
Also, as I'm sure a lot of you will be wondering, our kids, while we've been gone, have been being taken care of by Megan's Aunt Melody, who is so amazing and wonderful. She's like a fairy godmother in the flesh.
She's the best!
Big thank you to my Aunt Sybil, who has been helping me plan this for almost a year, and my Uncle Craig, who recommended the places that we go and eat while we've been here in town. Everything has been amazing. And lastly, I actually want to thank the owner of our Airbnb, Nina. She has been amazing, and she even left a bottle of champagne for us in the room when we got here. And if you're coming to New York, come here. It's amazing. So I will try to figure out how to link Nina's location in the description below, but now we have to pack and get ready to go home. Goodbye, apartment. You were good to us. And now, a time warp 8 months in the future. Hello Rebel, this is my video from last November where I took my wife on our 10-year wedding anniversary trip to New York. This video has been sitting on my hard drive ever since then. At one point I thought I lost the footage and literally cried for an hour until I found it again. I didn't make it or release it earlier than this because the trip was literally perfect and I didn't want to put out a video about it that was anything less than perfect, and so I kept working on it and working on it and working on it. Until eventually I realized that, as with so many other things I've been working on recently, nothing is ever going to be perfect, and if you never let anybody else see it, it's not even going to be pretty good. And so here it is, Rebel. I hope that you have enjoyed this imperfect record of a perfect time. As usual, this video is ad-free because of the incredible people who support me on Patreon. If you would like to go join their ranks, click the Patreon link. These people also helped pay for this trip in a large regard, so an extra special thanks to them today. Thank you for watching, Rebel, and I will see you next Friday. Bye!